My name is Alex Harper, and 7 months ago, on a crisp early summer afternoon, my entire future collapsed in the space of 10 silent seconds. I was 26 years old, engaged to the woman I believed would be my wife, my partner for life, the mother of my children. Her name was Emily Carter. We had been together for 4 years, living together for 3, engaged for 1. She was 25, beautiful in that effortless way-long auburn hair that caught the light, green eyes that used to look at me like I was the only person in the room, a laugh that could pull me out of any bad day. She was my first real love. I had dated casually in college, but nothing serious. Emily was different. From our very first date, I knew she was the one. We met at a mutual friend's house party in the fall of our senior year. I was nursing a beer in the corner, feeling out of place among the louder crowd, when she walked over and asked if I believed in love at first sight or if she should walk by again. Cheesy line, but delivered with such genuine playfulness that I laughed out loud. We talked until the party died down, exchanged numbers, and 3 days later we were on our first official date dinner at a little Italian place downtown, followed by a walk along the river. By the end of that night, I was already falling. The early years were magic. We graduated, found jobs in the same city, and a year into dating we moved in together. The apartment was small, a 2-bedroom in an old brick building with creaky floors and windows that stuck, but we made it ours. We painted the walls soft gray, hung string lights in the living room, built bookshelves together on a rainy weekend. We cooked terrible meals and laughed about them, stayed up late talking about everything, our childhoods, our fears, our dreams. I wanted a family eventually, a house with a yard, maybe a dog. She wanted to travel first, see Europe, backpack. Through Asia, we compromised in our plans. Travel first, then settle down. It felt like the perfect balance. The proposal came on a weekend getaway to the mountains. I'd been carrying the ring for weeks, waiting for the right moment. We hiked to a lookout point at sunset. The valley spread out below us in shades of gold and pink. I got down on one knee, hands shaking, and asked her to marry me. She cried, said yes, and we made love that night in our little cabin like the world belonged only to us. We posted the obligatory engagement photos on social media, her hand with the ring, US kissing against the sunset, and the likes and congratulations poured in. Life felt complete, but nothing stays perfect forever. In the year leading up to the betrayal, things shifted. Slowly at first, then more noticeably. Work stress for both of us, my job in marketing, had long hours, deadlines, travel. Emily's graphic design freelance work was inconsistent, which made her anxious. We argued more, about money, about chores, about whose turn it was to plan date nights. The sex slowed down. She'd be tired or on her phone late into the night. I noticed her dressing up more for girls' nights, coming home later, smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. I asked once, gently, if everything was okay. She brushed it off. Just blowing off steam, babe. You worry too much. I believed her, or wanted to. Every relationship has rough patches, I told myself. We'd get through it. I still loved her with everything I had. I bought flowers randomly, planned surprise dates, tried to bridge the growing distance. She'd smile, say thank you, but something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a Thursday in early June. My morning meetings got canceled unexpectedly, so I wrapped up at the office by 11:30. Emily had the day off, no client calls, no deadlines. I thought it would be romantic to surprise her. Maybe grab lunch at that little cafe she loved, spend the afternoon together, reconnect. I even stopped at the bakery on the way home for her favorite croissants and a couple of coffees. I pulled. into our driveway just after noon. The sun was bright, birds singing like any normal day. I grabbed the bakery bag and coffees, humming to myself as I unlocked the front door. The moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. The air was different. There were clothes on the floor near the entryway, her favorite silk blouse, crumpled. Pair of men's shoes I didn't recognize. Jeans that definitely weren't mine. My stomach tightened, but my brain refused to process it yet. Then I heard the sounds. Coming from upstairs. From our bedroom. Rhythmic thumps. Moans. A woman's voice. Emily's voice, breathless, pleading. A man's low grunt stopped. My heart slammed against my ribs. The coffee slipped from my hand and hit the floor, splashing across the hardwood. I didn't even register the mess. My legs carried me up the stairs on autopilot, each step heavier than the last. My throat was dry, hands shaking. I told myself it couldn't be what I thought. Maybe the TV, maybe anything else. The bedroom door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open just enough to see there she was. My Emily, my fiancée, naked on our bed, on her hands and knees, back arched, ass in the air. A man behind her, tall, dark hair, muscular, thrusting into her with forceful rhythm. Her head was thrown back, mouth open in pleasure, eyes closed. They were facing away from the door, completely lost in the moment. Oblivious to me standing there, I froze. Time slowed to a crawl. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't think. It was like watching a horror movie in slow motion. Except, this was my life. The bed we'd picked out together. The sheets I'd washed last weekend. The room where I'd proposed we start trying for kids someday. I don't know how long I stood there. 5 seconds. 10, maybe more. It felt like hours. Every detail burned into my brain. The way her body moved with his, the sweat on his back, the sounds they made together. Then something inside me shut down. Not rage, not yet. Just cold, numb shock. I backed away silently. Down the stairs, out the door. I left the spilled coffee, the bakery bag, got in my car and drove. No destination. Just away. I ended up at a deserted parking lot by a lake about 20 minutes from home. Parked under a tree, turned off the engine, and finally let go. I cried like I'd never cried before. Deep, guttural sobs that hurt my chest. Tears that wouldn't stop. I punched the steering wheel until my knuckles bled. Screamed until my voice was raw. How could she? How long? Who was he? Every memory of us flashed through my mind. Our first kiss, the proposal, lazy Sundays in bed, and now they were all tainted. Poisoned. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky. By the time I pulled myself together, I was empty, hollow, numb. In a way I didn't know was possible. I drove home around 7 that evening. Emily was in the kitchen, humming as she stirred something on the stove. She turned when I walked in, smiling brightly. "Hey, babe, you're home earlier than usual. Dinner's almost ready." I looked at her, really looked. The woman I'd loved for 4 years. The woman who'd worn my ring. And I felt nothing but ice. "We're done," I said. My voice was flat, calm, cold. Her smile faltered. "What? Alex, what's wrong?" "I want you out. Pack your things. You have 1 week. The house is in my name. I'll be staying somewhere else until you're gone." She dropped the spoon. It clattered against the counter. "Alex, talk to me. What did I do?" "Please," I didn't answer. Didn't give her the scene she probably expected. No yelling, no tears, no begging for explanations. I turned, went to our bedroom, the same room, packed a duffel bag with clothes and essentials. She followed me, crying now, grabbing my arm. "Alex, please." Tell me what's going on. We can fix this. I pulled away. There's nothing to fix. Get out by next Thursday. I walked out. Blocked her number before I even reached the car. Blocked her on every social media platform. Erased her from my digital life in minutes. I stayed with my best friend Jake that first week. He'd been my friend since high school solid, no bullshit guy. I told him everything that night over. Beers on his couch. His face went from shock to fury. Jesus Christ, man. I'm so sorry. He didn't push me to talk more. Just let me crash in his spare room. Brought me food when I forgot to eat. Sat with me in silence when the nights got dark. I told only a few people the truth. Jake, my brother, my parents, and 2 other close friends. I asked them all to keep it quiet. No confronting her. No spreading it. I didn't want drama. I wanted distance. Healing on my terms. The first month was brutal. The kind of pain that physically hurts. I'd wake up reaching for her, forgetting for a split second, then remember and feel like I'd been punched in the gut. I barely ate, lost 15 pounds, couldn't focus at work. Nights were the worst, replaying the scene on loop, imagining how long it had been going on, who the guy was. I'd drive around at 2 a.m. just to avoid the empty bed. Then came the messages from her friends, mutual acquaintances. Her cousins. What happened? Why did you break up so suddenly? Emily's devastated. She says you won't even talk to her. Some were concerned. Others were angry. A few were outright vicious. You're a coward. She deserves an explanation. Cold-hearted asshole. I ignored them all. Blocked every number. Deleted Instagram when the indirect posts started cryptic quotes about heartbreak, songs about being blindsided. I didn't engage. Didn't defend myself. Let them think what they wanted. The truth would come out eventually or not. Didn't matter. The hardest part was her parents Mark and Lisa Carter. Over the years, they'd become family to me. Holidays at their house. Mark teaching me how to grill steaks properly. Lisa sending me home with Tupperware full of leftovers. Calling me sweetie. They'd been thrilled when we got engaged. Lisa cried, hugged me tight, said she couldn't have picked a better son-in-law herself. After the breakup, they reached out gently. Texts from Lisa. Alex, honey, we're so worried. Can we talk? Whatever happened, we love you. A voicemail from Mark. Son, call us when you're ready. No pressure. Each one was a knife to the heart. I wanted to answer. Wanted to tell. Them, I loved them too. But I couldn't. Not yet. Responding would mean opening the door again, risking being pulled back into her orbit. So I stayed silent. Blocked their numbers too, though it killed me. About 5 weeks post-breakup. One person kept trying. Mia Thompson. Emily's best friend since middle school. Mia and I had always gotten along well. She was funny, kind, a little sarcastic in the best way. Over the years, she'd become my friend too. We'd text dumb memes, grab coffee when Emily was busy, team up to tease her about her bad taste in reality TV. Mia messaged a few times early on, but I ignored her like the rest. Then, one evening, a longer text. Alex, I know you don't want to hear from anyone right now, and I get it. But I need to talk to you. I had a huge fight with Emily. I don't want to get into it over text, but please, just coffee or something. No pressure. I stared at the message for days. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but curiosity and maybe. Loneliness won out. I replied, my place, tomorrow night? She came over with a bottle of wine and take-out pizza. We sat in the living room that still felt too empty. At first, it was awkward small talk about work, the weather. Then I just laid it all out. I came home early one day to surprise her. Found her in our bed with another guy. Mia's face drained of color. Her eyes filled with tears almost instantly. "Oh my God, Alex, I suspected something." She'd been weird for months, secretive, distant. I asked her a few times if she was seeing someone. She denied it, swore up and down nothing was going on. After you ended things, she finally told me. Admitted it had. Been going on for 3 months. Some guy from her yoga studio. 3 months. The words hit like a second betrayal. Mia cried harder. I told her she was an idiot, that she'd thrown away the best thing that ever happened to her. We fought badly. I couldn't stay friends with someone who'd hurt you like that. We talked for hours. The wine disappeared. Emotions ran raw. At some point, she reached for my hand across the couch. I didn't pull away. One thing led to another. We ended up in my bed, the same bed, now stripped of its old sheets. It wasn't about revenge, not consciously. It was grief and comfort, and 2 people who understood the depth of the wound. Mia told Emily a few weeks later. The fallout was nuclear. Emily accused her of betrayal, of waiting for her chance. Their friendship 15 years ended in screams and blocked numbers. The larger friend group splintered. Some sided with Emily, others with Mia. Mutual friends picked teams. Drama I stayed far away from. A few months after the breakup, I finally wrote the letter to Emily's parents. It took days to get the words right. I told them everything, how I'd found her, how devastated I was, how much I'd loved their daughter and still cared for them. I said I wished things had been different, that in another life, I'd still be calling them Mom and Dad. I mailed it without expecting a reply. A week later, a handwritten letter arrived in my mailbox from both of them. They were heartbroken for me, for the future we'd all imagined. They wrote that they'd always seen me as the perfect match for their daughter, that they were deeply disappointed in her choices, and that they'd never blame me. Lisa ended with, "You will always have a place in our hearts, Alex. We wish you every happiness you deserve." Reading it, I cried for the first time in weeks, not from pain, but from closure, from knowing I hadn't lost everything. 7 months have passed now. January 2026. The pain that once consumed me is a distant echo. I think about Emily rarely, and when I do, there's no anger left, no longing, just indifference, maybe a trace of pity. Last week, through a mutual connection who didn't know our history, I heard she's struggling badly, depressed, in therapy, withdrawn from friends, still single, still carrying the weight. She lost everything. A partner who loved her unconditionally, a future we'd planned in detail, the respect of her parents, her closest friend, her social circle. Her choices cost her dearly. Me? I'm okay. Better than okay. I've rebuilt. New routines, gym in. The mornings, therapy once a week, weekends hiking with Jake and the guys. I've dated a little, nothing serious, just reminding myself I'm still capable of connection. The house feels like mine again. New sheets, new art on the walls, new memories overriding the old. I dodged a bullet, a massive one. If I'd married her, this betrayal would have come later, maybe after kids, after deeper entanglements. The damage would have been catastrophic. Sometimes I wonder if she ever thinks about that day, if she regrets it, if she understands what she threw away. I don't need her to. The best revenge isn't loud or spiteful. It's quiet. It's moving on, thriving, becoming the version of yourself you were always meant to be, without the weight of someone who never truly valued you. I'm happy now, truly. And she. I send single quotes T. The scales balance themselves. Life has a way of doing that.